The marriage counselor's office still smelled like vanilla when my wife suggested we test our love with a separation while our son waited outside. Dr. Chen's pen stopped moving. That should have been my first warning. In 12 sessions, I'd never seen her freeze like that. Fingers white around her Mont Blanc, the vanilla candle on her bookshelf flickering as if it too sensed the shift in air pressure. Sarah sat across from me in the chair she always chose, the one closest to the door, wearing the dress I'd bought her for our 10th anniversary. Navy blue with small white flowers. She'd paired it with her grandmother's pearls, the ones she only wore for important occasions. "A therapeutic separation," she said, her voice steady as a news anchor delivering tragedy. 2 weeks to reset our connection. The words hung between us like a blade waiting to drop. Through the frosted glass door, I could see Tommy's shadow, his 8-year-old legs swinging from the waiting room chair. He was drawing again. I could tell by the way his head bent forward, that total concentration he inherited from me. "When did you decide this?" My voice came out smaller than intended. Sarah uncrossed and recrossed her legs. "It's not about deciding, Michael. It's about saving us." Dr. Chen finally moved, setting down her pen with the kind of careful deliberation you use around explosives. "Sarah, we typically discuss major decisions like this together in session, as a process. We don't have time for process." Sarah's interruption was sharp, surgical. "The apartment is already arranged, my sister's place. She's in Europe for 3 weeks. Already arranged." The vanilla scent suddenly felt cloying, too sweet, like flowers at a funeral. I studied my wife's face, searching for the woman who'd cried in my arms last Tuesday after therapy, who'd promised we'd work through this together. Her expression was porcelain, beautiful and cold. "What about the kids?" "They stay in the house. We alternate. 1 week you, 1 week me." She pulled a folded paper from her purse, edges crisp as accusations. "I've written out the rules. If you've ever been blindsided by someone you trusted completely, leave a comment saying, 'I understand.' You're not alone." She slid the paper across Dr. Chen's glass coffee table. 7 rules in her perfect teacher's handwriting, the same script that had written love notes in my lunch bag for 11 years. I noticed Rule 7 immediately. Different ink, darker, added after the rest. No questions about the other person's activities during separation. "Sarah," Dr. Chen's voice carried a warning I'd never heard before. "This feels very sudden." "Michael, how do you—" "He agrees." Sarah stood, smoothing her anniversary dress. "Don't you, Michael? You said you'd do anything to save our marriage." Through the frosted glass, Tommy's shadow had stopped swinging his legs. He was listening. We all knew he was listening. "Yes," I heard myself say. "I agree." Sarah's smile was brief, efficient. "Good. Your things are already in my car. I packed them this morning while you were at work." She'd already packed my bags. They were in her car. The parking lot asphalt radiated September heat as Sarah popped her Accord's trunk. 2 suitcases, my father's army duffel, 3 boxes labeled with my name in Sharpie. 11 years condensed into what would fit in a Honda. Tommy stood between us, his therapy drawing clutched in one hand. 3 people around a dinner table. Just 3. "Dad's going on a little trip," Sarah said, kneeling to his eye level, "like when he travels for work. But his car is here," Tommy said, that logical mind already catching the lies. Emma ran out from the back seat where she'd been waiting, 6 years old and oblivious, wrapping her arms around my knees. "Daddy, look!" She held up her teddy bear, Mr. Buttons, dressed in a cape made from a dish towel. "He's Super Bear now." "That's amazing, sweetheart." I lifted her up, memorizing the weight of her, the way she smelled like apple juice and crayons. 2 weeks, Sarah said, checking her phone. "Starting now, 3:27 p.m., September 15th. She handed me the rules, now laminated. She'd laminated them. While I was sitting in therapy trying to save us, she'd been at Kinko's, making our separation waterproof. Rule 1, she read aloud. Performance for the kids. Both parties maintain separate residences. Rule 2, no overnight guests. Rule 3, exchange children Sundays at 6 p.m. Rule 4, no discussing separation with mutual friends. Rule 5, no checking each other's social media. Rule 6, all communication about children only through text. Rule 7, I can read. I set Emma down, her cape fluttering. Tommy looked at his drawing again, then at us. Why are there only 3 people at dinner? Nobody answered. Rule 7 was written in different ink. My brother Jake's apartment smelled like pizza and gym socks, but it was free in walking distance from the kids' school. He helped me carry the boxes up 3 flights, neither of us talking until we reached his door. She's been planning this, he said, not a question. Yeah. The ink thing. I saw it too. She added that rule after. I dropped the duffel in his spare room, my room now. The window faced a brick wall so close you could touch it. On the nightstand, Jake had already placed a photo from Emma's birthday last month. All 4 of us covered in cake and frosting, laughing. We looked happy. We were happy. You okay? Jake asked from the doorway. Day 1 of 14, I said, pulling out my phone. I should check. Don't. Just to see if... Mike, don't. But I'd already opened Instagram. Sarah's profile appeared, that blue check mark she'd gotten from her teaching blog. Her bio had changed. It's complicated, I read aloud. She changed her relationship status to, it's complicated. Day 2 was silence. I threw myself into work, designing 3 websites before lunch, coding until my eyes burned. No texts except one at 6 p.m. Kids completed homework. Emma lost a tooth. Tooth Fairy will visit. The Tooth Fairy. We'd always done that together. Sarah writing the notes in elaborate cursive. Me sneaking the dollar under Emma's pillow. Now it was a logistical update, clinical as a medical chart. Day 3 started with rain. I was reviewing code at my desk when Marcus from accounting stopped by, phone in hand, face pale as spreadsheet paper. Mike, I don't know if I should show you this. What? Sarah's Instagram. I know you're not supposed to look, but it popped up in my feed and... He turned his phone toward me. Posted 43 minutes ago, 10:47 a.m. Sarah at Romano's, that Italian place she'd always said was too expensive for us. Laughing, wine glass raised, sunlight catching her wedding ring. No, her ring finger was bare, and beside her, partially cropped but visible, a man's arm. Tanned, a black tattoo wrapping around the bicep. There's more, Marcus whispered. He swiped. Another photo. Sarah and the arm, closer now. You could see his jaw, strong, stubbled. The location tag, Romano's downtown. The caption, New beginnings deserve good wine. Timestamp, 10:47 a.m., September 18th. Day 3. The man's tattoo, I'd seen it before. Jake found me in the parking lot, sitting in my car, still staring at the screenshot I'd taken before Marcus deleted his browsing history, terrified of being caught in the middle. A snake, I said, showing him. Black snake eating its own tail. Ouroboros, Jake said. Eternal cycle, destruction, and rebirth. Pretentious bastard. I've seen it before. I know I have. Mike, we need to check the credit cards. That's not... She's been planning this. You said so yourself. The different ink, the lamination, the apartment already ready. We need to check. Back in Jake's apartment, I logged into our shared credit card account. Sarah didn't know I had the password. She always let me handle the finances. The transactions loaded slowly. Each line another small betrayal. Romano's, August 28th, 127.43, lunch for 2. Romano's, August 14th, 98.67, lunch for 2. Romano's, July 30th, 134.22, lunch for 2. Mike, Jake pointed at the screen. Go back further. June, May, April. 14 charges at Romano's over 5 months. Always lunch, always for 2, always when I was at work. when she said she had teacher planning days or parent conferences or dental appointments. 14 times, I said. We've never been there together, not once. 14 charges at Romano's. We'd never been there together. The last charge was different. September 14th, the day before our counseling session. $247.80, dinner for two. Champagne. She'd celebrated the night before, ending us. I stared at the screen until the numbers blurred. Somewhere across town, my children were doing homework with their mother and a man with an Ouroboros tattoo. Somewhere, Dr. Chen was probably noting this session's absence in her vanilla-scented office. Somewhere, everything I thought I knew was dissolving like sugar in wine. Day 3 of 14. But now I knew this wasn't a separation. It was an execution. Day 4 was Sunday, exchange day. 6 p.m. sharp at the house. My house, our house, whatever it was now. I arrived at 5:45, parking across the street to watch my own driveway like a stranger. The kitchen window glowed yellow. I could see Sarah moving back and forth. The routine of Sunday dinner prep I knew by heart. Except, I wasn't there to dice onions or steal bites of garlic bread. Someone else was. At 5:58, the front door opened. Tommy came out first, rolling his Spider-Man suitcase, the one we'd bought for Disney last year. Emma followed, Mr. Buttons clutched against her chest, his dish towel cape replaced with what looked like a cut-up silk scarf. Sarah's scarf, the Hermes one from her mother. No sign of the man. But Tommy kept looking back at the house, confused. "Dad!" Emma ran to me, dropping her overnight bag. "We had pizza with Mark. He can flip the dough super high." Mark. The name hit like cold water. Tommy dragged his suitcase slower, eyes down. When he reached me, he mumbled, "Mom's friend is weird." "Oh?" I kept my voice neutral, lifting Emma into the car seat. "He used Mom's special mug, the one you got her. The Mother's Day mug. Hand-painted at one of those ceramic places, Tommy's 2-year-old handprints in blue, Emma's newborn footprint in pink. Sarah cried when she opened it. And he gives better piggyback rides than you," Tommy added, but his voice cracked on the word better, the lie obvious even to him. Sarah stood in the doorway, arms crossed, no wave, no words, just watching to ensure the transfer was complete. Behind her, a shadow moved in the hallway, tall, broad shoulders. "Buckle up, buddy," I told Tommy, but I was looking at that shadow. It stepped forward, just enough. The kitchen light caught the tattoo on his bicep. He said, "Mom's friend gives better piggyback rides." Jake watched the kids while I drove to the one lawyer who'd answer on Sunday night. Sarah Mitchell, different Sarah, ironic coincidence, had her office above a Chinese restaurant. The smell of General Tso's chicken mixed with legal books and leather chairs. "Infidelity doesn't affect custody in this state," she said, reviewing my screenshots. Unless what? Unless you can prove it affects the children's well-being, neglect, dangerous environment, parental alienation. She pulled out a legal pad, yellow and honest. "Tell me about this, Mark." "I don't know anything except..." "Then find out. Document everything, every interaction, every comment from the kids, every violation of your separation agreement." She clicked her recorder on. Start from the beginning, every detail. I talked for an hour. The counseling ambush, the pre-packed bags, the laminated rules, the 14 restaurant charges. By the time I finished, 3 pages of her legal pad were full. "She's been planning this longer than 5 months, Sarah Mitchell said. This kind of preparation, this level of detail. She's either done this before or someone's coaching her." Coaching her? Mark, men who break up marriages often have a playbook. Isolate the spouse, establish new patterns, create distance from support systems. She set down her pen. "When did your nanny quit?" "Maria? 3 months ago. Sarah said we couldn't afford..." "Fine, Maria." In this state, Infidelity doesn't affect custody, unless... Maria agreed to meet at a Dunkin' Donuts on Route 9, halfway between her new job and town. She looked nervous, checking the door every time it opened, clutching her phone like evidence. "Mr. Mike, I shouldn't be here. Maria, please. I just need to understand." She pulled up her phone's photo gallery, scrolling back months. I started taking pictures when things got strange, for protection, in case she said I did something wrong. The first photo, May 15th, a Tuesday. Sarah's car in the driveway at 2 p.m. when she should have been at school. "She told me to never mention the Tuesday early dismissals," Maria said. Said it was for curriculum planning. More photos. Sarah's car at Romano's, taken when Maria was running errands with the kids. A receipt from Victoria's Secret, fallen from Sarah's purse, dated during school hours. A man's watch on the kitchen counter, not mine. This one? Maria's finger trembled as she showed me a photo from July. Emma was sick. Mrs. Sarah said to take her to urgent care, but she couldn't come. Too busy. This man drove us. The photo showed Emma in a hospital waiting room, sleeping against Maria's shoulder. In the background, partially visible, a man in the parking lot. Tall, dark hair, the tattoo visible even at a distance. "He knew which pharmacy we use," Maria said quietly. "He knew Emma's middle name for the forms." My stomach turned. How long had he been around? "I don't know when it started, Mr. Mike, but in June, she asked me to lie about something." Maria pulled up a text thread. "Here. She asked me to say you were the one who forgot Emma's dance recital." The text was clear. If anyone asks, Mike was supposed to pick up Emma on the 15th. But I hadn't forgotten. I'd been there, front row, flowers in hand. Sarah had been 40 minutes late, flustered, blaming traffic. Now I knew where she'd been. "There's more," Maria said. "The termination letter." She showed me the email. 2-week severance, glowing recommendation, but immediate termination. Dated August 30th. The day after Sarah's first Instagram post about new chapters. "She didn't want witnesses," I said. Maria nodded. "Mr. Mike, the children. Tommy knows something is wrong. He asked me once if Mommy had a secret friend. This was in July. She asked me to lie about the Tuesday pickups. The call from Emma's school came Tuesday morning, day 6 of separation. Mrs. Peterson's voice was carefully professional, the tone teachers use when documenting something serious. "Mr. Matthews, we need to discuss Emma's recent behavioral changes." I sat in the principal's office 20 minutes later, the same chair I'd occupied for Tommy's honor roll ceremonies. But Principal Howard's face wasn't celebratory. "Emma's been having episodes," Mrs. Peterson said, sliding a behavior chart across the desk. Red marks scattered across September like drops of blood. Crying fits, refusing to participate. Yesterday she hid under my desk for an hour. Since when? The incident started 2 weeks ago, but concerning patterns began earlier. She pulled out a folder, thick with documentation. Absent parent signatures on reading logs dating back to May. Sarah's missed 3 parent-teacher conferences, and yesterday, Principal Howard interrupted. Yesterday, Emma told the playground monitor that Mommy's friend was picking her up now. Not Mommy, Mommy's friend. The room felt airless. Did she say who? A man named Mark. Emma said he drives a black car and doesn't like her songs. Mrs. Peterson's voice cracked slightly. "Mr. Matthews, Emma stopped singing. She's always singing, you know that. But she said Mark thinks it's too loud." I thought of Emma at 6 a.m., belting out Frozen songs while brushing her teeth. The house had been so quiet Sunday morning. "We're mandated reporters," Principal Howard said gently. "If there are custody concerns, changes in the home environment, we're handling it legally," I said. "My lawyer is Sarah Mitchell." "Good," he made a note. "We'll document everything. Emma's teacher has already started a file." Mrs. Peterson touched my hand. She asked me yesterday if divorce means you stop loving your kids. Where would she even learn that word? Emma said Mommy's friend was picking her up now. By day 8, I had a routine. Work until 3. Pick up kids from aftercare. Homework, dinner, baths, stories. Pretend everything was normal while documenting everything that wasn't. Tommy had started journaling, something his counselor suggested last year for anxiety. He left it on the kitchen table while he brushed his teeth, opened Tuesday's entry. Mark was here again. He used Dad's chair. He said my Lego city was taking up too much space. Mom didn't say anything. She just moved my Legos to the basement. I hate him. I hate that Mom laughs different now. Below that, in smaller letters, Dad would never make me move my Legos. I photographed the entry, hands shaking. This 8-year-old boy was documenting our case better than any private investigator could. Emma padded out in her pajamas, Mr. Buttons dragging behind her. Daddy, can you check for monsters? Of course, baby. But as I checked her closet, under her bed, behind the curtains, I realized the real monster was driving a black car and sitting in my chair. What would you tell your child? What words exist for this kind of monster? Day 10 brought rain and revelations. Jake had been doing his own investigation, tech-savvy in ways I'd never be. He found Mark's LinkedIn, Mark Silverman, real estate developer, divorced twice. The Ouroboros tattoo visible in his profile photo, a glamour shot on some yacht. Look at this. Jake pulled up a cached Facebook page. His second ex-wife read her posts from last year. Post after post about narcissistic abuse, gaslighting, custody battles, photos of her with 2 kids who looked hollow-eyed and tired, then nothing. The post stopped abruptly 14 months ago. Private investigator? Jake suggested. Already on it. Marcus Webb looked exactly like a private investigator should. Forgettable face, sharp eyes, clothes that could blend anywhere. His office was in a strip mall between a tax service and a nail salon. $1,400 for a full background and surveillance, he said, sliding a contract across his desk. Rush job is extra. How rushed can you go? 48 hours for preliminaries. I signed, credit card debt be damned. This Mark, Webb said, studying the photos. I've seen him before. Can't place it, but the tattoo's familiar. Give me 48 hours. Day 12 was Wednesday. Sarah was supposed to have the kids, but she texted asking me to keep them. Something came up. Something. Or someone. Tommy didn't complain about the extra dad time, but Emma asked 3 times when Mommy was coming. Each time hurt worse than the last. That night, my phone exploded. 14 calls from Sarah in 10 minutes. I let them all go to voicemail, documenting as attorney Sarah advised. Jake sat beside me, recording everything on his phone. Message 1. Michael, we need to talk about the arrangement. Message 2. This is ridiculous. Pick up. Message 3. The kids need stability. This back and forth isn't working. Message 4. I know you're listening. Message 5. Static, then. You're being childish. Message 6. Mark thinks we should adjust the schedule. Mark thinks. My wife of 11 years was now reporting Mark's thoughts about my children. Message 7 through 13 escalated. Accusations. Threats about court. Claims I was alienating the children. Then message 14. Different tone. Scared. You don't understand? He's dangerous. You don't understand? He's dangerous. The words hung in Jake's apartment like smoke. Dangerous how? To whom? Was it a threat or a warning? My phone rang again. This time I answered. Sarah, finally. But her voice was wrong, too high, too fast. Michael, I need you to be reasonable. Reasonable? About Mark, about the situation. He's going through a difficult divorce himself, and his ex is making things complicated, and we need to present a united front. United? Sarah, you posted photos with him on day 3 of our separation. Silence. Then, "You weren't supposed to see those. Our friends saw them. Our children's teachers saw them. Everyone saw them. That's not—" Mark said no one would. She stopped herself. "How long, Sarah?" "What? How long have you been seeing him? May? April? Earlier?" The silence stretched like a tightrope. "It's not what you think," she finally said. "Then what is it?" "I can't—" "Mark is here. We'll discuss this Sunday at Exchange." She hung up, but she'd said enough. Mark was there, in my house, listening to her call me, controlling her words. Maybe controlling more than that. Webb called an hour later. "You need to see what I found. Can you come now?" His office after hours felt different, urgent. He had files spread across his desk, laptop open to multiple tabs, printer still spitting out pages. "Mark Silverman," he began. "Real estate developer, yes, but also 2 restraining orders from ex-wives, 1 assault charge, pled down to disorderly conduct. And this—" He showed me a police report from Portland, Oregon. 3 years old. 3rd marriage? Wife named Jennifer. Custody battle turned ugly. She accused him of domestic violence, psychological abuse of the children. He countered with parental alienation claims. What happened? She lost custody. Completely. Haven't been able to find her since. But look at this. A newspaper clipping. Jennifer Silverman, elementary school teacher, loses custody battle. The photo showed a woman who looked exhausted, defeated. Behind her, barely visible, a man with an Ouroboros tattoo. "There's more," Webb said. "Your wife. Has she been to Portland? Her sister lives there. We visited 2 years ago." I stopped. March, 2 years ago in March. Webb pulled up an Instagram post. Sarah's account, March, 2 years ago. A teaching conference in Portland, photos of workshops, educational sessions, and 1 photo at a restaurant. Sarah with her sister and another couple. The woman was Jennifer Silverman. The man was Mark. They met 2 years ago, Webb said. But here's the kicker. Another document? A pregnancy test purchase on Sarah's credit card. Not ours, her personal one I didn't know existed. Dated 5 weeks ago. August 11th, 3 days before she started packing my bags. The test was positive, dated 5 weeks ago. I stared at the receipt while Webb explained the timeline, but my mind was somewhere else. 5 weeks ago, Sarah and I had made love for the last time. I remembered because it was Emma's first day of first grade. We'd celebrated surviving the summer, laughing about finally having both kids in school. She'd initiated, unusual for her. She'd been tender, present in a way she hadn't been in months. Now I understood why. Guilt or goodbye. Maybe both. "There's one more thing," Webb said, pulling up medical records. She went to a clinic, not her regular OB-GYN, a place 30 miles outside town. Paid cash. "When?" "August 20th. Blood test for pregnancy confirmation and—" He paused. "Paternity testing." The room tilted. "You can do that before birth?" "At 7 weeks, yes, non-invasive, just blood from the mother." Webb's eyes were kind but professional. "The results would take about a week. She'd have gotten them right before your counseling session." The vanilla candle in Dr. Chen's office, Sarah's prepared speech, the pre-packed bags. She'd known for days that she was pregnant, and she'd known whose it wasn't. "Can you get the results?" "Not legally, but in a custody fight, her lawyer will have to disclose if asked." Webb closed the file. "Mr. Matthews, in my experience, when someone plans this carefully, they've done it before. Portland wasn't her first time. I thought about Jennifer Silverman, disappeared after losing her children, about the second ex-wife's Facebook posts that stopped abruptly, about Sarah, my Sarah, who used to leave me love notes and cry at Tommy's school plays. What's his pattern? I asked. Teachers, single mothers, or married ones he can isolate. Elementary schools specifically. They have regular schedules, summers off, pension plans. He targets them at conferences, education seminars, romance them, convince them to leave their husbands if they have them, move in fast, get them pregnant to lock them down. Then the control starts. And if they resist, court battles, custody fights. He has money for good lawyers. They usually don't. Webb pulled up another document. But here's what's different about your case. What? You're still here, fighting. Most husbands just leave, cut their losses. You're not leaving. We don't leave. The words came from nowhere, my father's voice. Something he used to say when I was young, when Mom was sick, when things got hard. Matthew's men don't leave. No, I said, we don't leave. Day 13. The Guardian ad litem interview was scheduled for 2 p.m. at the courthouse. Ms. Roberts had a kind face, but eyes that missed nothing. She had already interviewed Sarah and Mark that morning. Tommy clutched his journal, the one he'd been keeping all week. Emma brought Mr. Buttons and a folder of drawings she'd made. I hadn't asked them to bring anything. They'd decided on their own. I like to talk to children separately, Ms. Roberts said. Tommy first. For 40 minutes, I sat in the hallway listening to the white noise machine outside her door. When Tommy emerged, his eyes were red, but his chin was high. I told her everything, he said, about Mark using Dad's chair, about Mom moving my Legos, about how he yells when Emma sings. I showed her my journal. Emma went next, Mr. Buttons under one arm, her drawings under the other. 20 minutes later, Ms. Roberts opened the door. Mr. Matthews, could you join us? Emma was at a small table, her drawings spread out like evidence, which, I realized, they were. Emma's been showing me her family pictures, Ms. Roberts said carefully. Emma, can you tell your dad what you told me about this one? Emma held up a drawing from 3 weeks ago. 4 figures, but something was wrong. 3 were holding hands, labeled Daddy, Tommy, me. The 4th stood apart, a dark scribble where the face should be. That's Mark, Emma said quietly. I couldn't draw his face because he's always angry, so I scribbled it. And this one? Ms. Roberts held up another. This drawing showed a house split down the middle. One side bright yellow with flowers, the other side dark, windows black. That's how home feels now, Emma whispered. Happy when Daddy's there, scary when Mark is there. Why scary, sweetheart? I asked, though the lawyer in Sarah Mitchell's voice screamed at me not to lead the witness. He threw Mr. Buttons in the trash, said I was too old for baby toys. Mommy got him out when Mark wasn't looking, but she hugged the bear tighter. He said next time he'd throw him in the outside trash. Ms. Roberts made notes, many notes. One more thing, she said, pulling out a tablet. We'd like to record a short video, just Emma talking about where she feels safe. Is that okay? Emma nodded, and for 3 minutes, my 6-year-old daughter explained how she hid in her closet when Mark visited, how she pretended to be asleep so she wouldn't have to say goodnight to him, how she wished Mommy would remember how to laugh the real way again. Tommy wrote, Dad never yells like Mark does. Back in Attorney Sarah's office, we assembled our case. 17 witnesses lined up. Maria, Mrs. Peterson, Principal Howard, 3 neighbors who'd seen Mark's car in my driveway during school hours. Tommy's therapist from last year, who documented Sarah missing appointments. The daycare provider from when Emma was younger, who remembered Mark picking Emma up twice without being on the authorized list. It's strong, Attorney Sarah said, but we need one more thing, the smoking gun. What? The paternity test she took. If we can prove she knew the pregnancy wasn't yours before the separation, it shows deliberate fraud, emotional abuse, endangerment of the children's psychological well-being by introducing them to her affair partner under false pretenses. How do we get it? Emergency custody hearing, forced disclosure. She pulled up her calendar. Judge Harrison has an opening Monday morning. Day 16, technically past your separation period. She wanted 2 weeks to establish a new status quo, I realized. Make it seem like the kids were fine with the arrangement. Exactly, but we're not waiting. She started drafting the emergency motion. One question. Any chance the pregnancy could be yours? I thought about the timeline. The last time. Emma's first day of school. There's a chance. We'll request a paternity test as part of the emergency order. What matters more? Keeping peace or protecting truth? Comment peace or truth below. Sunday arrived, day 14, the final exchange before court. Sarah had texted asking to meet at a Starbucks instead of the house. Public, neutral, safe. She was already there when we arrived, Mark beside her. Up close, he was handsome in that catalog model way. Too perfect, too practiced. The Ouroboros tattoo seemed to writhe on his bicep as he reached for his coffee. Tommy, Emma. Sarah's voice was bright, brittle. Ready to go home? This is home, Tommy said, not moving from my side. Mark stood. Listen, kid. Don't. My voice came out steadier than expected. Don't speak to my son. Our son, Sarah corrected, and Mark is part of our lives now. Since when? Tommy asked. Since May when you started sneaking around? Since July when Maria saw you together? Or since August when you got pregnant? The Starbucks seemed to freeze. Even the espresso machine went quiet. Sarah's face drained white. Tommy, how? I'm 8, not stupid. And you leave your pharmacy bag on the counter. Mark stepped forward. You need to control your kid. No, I said. I need to protect them from you. His face darkened. You have no idea who you're messing with. Actually, I do. Jennifer Silverman sends her regards. So does wife number 2. Quite a pattern you have, Mark. Teachers, custody battles, restraining orders. Sarah grabbed Mark's arm. What's he talking about? He's lying, trying to manipulate you, just like Jennifer did, just like all the women who wouldn't let you control them. I pulled out my phone. Sarah, check your email. I just sent you Webb's report. Police records, court documents, everything. She was already looking, scrolling, her face changing with each swipe. This is what you didn't know, I said quietly. What he didn't tell you. But here's what I didn't know until yesterday. I pulled out the receipt Webb had found. August 20th. Clinic visit, paternity test. I looked at Mark. You knew, didn't you? You knew it was yours. That's why you pushed so hard for the separation. Get me out, you in, establish residency before the baby arrives. Sarah's hand went to her stomach. How did you? You used our joint business credit card, the one you forgot existed. I turned to the kids. Get your things, we're going. You can't just take them, Mark said. We have an arrangement. The arrangement ends today. Emergency custody hearing tomorrow morning, 9 a.m., Judge Harrison. I picked up Emma, took Tommy's hand. Sarah, I'm sorry it came to this, but they're not safe with him. You know they're not. We were at the door when Sarah called out. Michael, I turned. The baby, she said quietly. It's not, the test said, I know. Her next words were almost inaudible. You don't understand? He's dangerous. The same words from her voicemail, but now I heard them differently. Not a threat, a plea. Then come with us, I said. Right now, walk out with us. Mark grabbed her wrist, not hard enough to leave Mark's, just enough to remind her who was in control. No, she said, I made my choice. Exhibit 47 changed everything. Monday morning, courtroom 3B. Judge Harrison presiding. Sarah and Mark at their table, a new lawyer beside them. Her original one had withdrawn Friday afternoon after reviewing the evidence. Our side, Attorney Sarah, myself, and 17 witnesses waiting outside. Your Honor, Sarah's new lawyer began. This emergency motion is premature and vindictive. My clients were following the agreed-upon separation terms, which included no overnight guests, Attorney Sarah interrupted. Yet Mr. Silverman has been documented at the marital home on multiple occasions. Hearsay. Security footage from the neighbor's Ring doorbell. Exhibit 12. Judge Harrison reviewed his laptop screen, eyebrows rising. Mr. Silverman appears to be leaving the home at 6:47 a.m. on September 16th, day 2 of the separation. Correct, Your Honor. Additionally, Exhibit 14 through 31, credit card records showing a pattern of deception predating the separation by 5 months. The judge continued scrolling. Exhibit 43. What am I looking at? Tommy Matthews' journal, Your Honor. An 8-year-old's documentation of emotional distress caused by Mr. Silverman's presence. Sarah's lawyer objected. A child's journal is hardly. Exhibit 44, Attorney Sarah continued. Video testimony from Emma Matthews, age 6, describing hiding in her closet to avoid Mr. Silverman. The courtroom was silent as Emma's small voice filled the space. Even the court reporter stopped typing to listen. Your Honor, Sarah's lawyer tried again. Children can be coached. Exhibit 45, guardian ad litem report from Ms. Roberts. Judge Harrison read, his frown deepening. Ms. Roberts recommends immediate suspension of Mrs. Matthews' unsupervised custody pending psychological evaluation. Yes, Your Honor, based on her assessment that Mr. Silverman poses a psychological threat to the minor children. This is ridiculous, Mark stood up. I haven't done anything. Sit down, Mr. Silverman, Judge Harrison commanded. I see here you have quite a history in family court. Portland, Phoenix, now here. Those were all lies? Exhibit 46, Attorney Sarah said. Restraining orders from 2 previous partners. And Exhibit 47. She handed the judge a document. Results of Mrs. Matthews' paternity test, subpoenaed from Northside Clinic. Sarah gasped. How did you used a credit card linked to Mr. Matthews' business account. He had legal right to subpoena medical records related to those charges. Judge Harrison read the document, read it again. Mrs. Matthews, this test was conducted on August 20th? Yes, Sarah whispered. 25 days before you suggested a therapeutic separation to save your marriage? Silence. While knowingly pregnant with another man's child? Your Honor, her lawyer attempted, my client's pregnancy is not relevant. It's relevant to her credibility, to her judgment, to the environment she's creating for these children. The judge turned to Mark. Mr. Silverman, I'm going to ask you directly. Have you ever been alone with the Matthews children? I plead the 5th. This isn't a criminal trial. Answer the question. Sometimes, when Sarah needed help. Define help. Mark's jaw clenched. Picking them up from school, watching them while she ran errands. Despite having no legal relationship to these children, despite the father being available and willing, silence. Judge Harrison looked at Sarah. Mrs. Matthews, you allowed a man with a history of domestic disputes, whom you'd been seeing in secret, to have unsupervised access to your children. He said his exes were lying. He said they were trying to alienate his children. He said exactly what he's saying now about your husband. Sarah's face crumbled. I've seen enough. Judge Harrison's voice was granite. Emergency temporary custody is granted to Michael Matthews, effective immediately. Mrs. Matthews will have supervised visitation only, pending completion of a psychological evaluation and a full custody hearing in 60 days. Your Honor, Sarah's lawyer protested. Additionally, Mr. Silverman is barred from any contact with the minor children. Any violation will result in criminal charges. You can't, Mark started. I can and I have. Mr. Matthews, do you have suitable housing for the children? They'll stay in the family home, Your Honor. I'll move back immediately. Granted, Mrs. Matthews, you have 72 hours to vacate the premises. The gavel came down like thunder. Full custody granted, effective immediately. Sarah fled the courtroom. Mark followed, shouting something about appeals, about rights, about how this wasn't over. But it was. Everyone knew it was. In the hallway, Biz Roberts was waiting. The children are in the family room. They don't know yet. How do I tell them? Honestly, simply, they're stronger than you think. She was right. When I explained that they'd be staying with me all the time for a while, Tommy just nodded. Good. Mark can't throw away my Legos now. Emma asked only one question. Is Mommy sick? In a way, sweetheart. She needs some time to get better. Like when Grandma was sad and had to go to the talking doctor. Yes, like that. Emma considered this. Will she get better? I hope so. Me too. She hugged Mr. Buttons. But if she doesn't, we have you. Emma laughed, first time in months. 3 weeks later, October sun warm in the kitchen, I was making pancakes when the doorbell rang. Tommy ran to answer it, Emma trailing behind, dragging Mr. Buttons. Certified mail, the postal worker said. Need a signature. The envelope was from Sarah's lawyer. Inside, a single document. Voluntary termination of parental rights. Sarah's signature at the bottom, notarized yesterday. Behind it, a handwritten letter on her teacher's stationery, the apple border she'd used for parent newsletters. Mark left. Portland called him about something with Jennifer. He packed in the middle of the night. The baby isn't viable. The doctor said stress, but I think it knew. I'm going to stay with my sister. Get help. Real help this time. I'm sorry for everything. For the lies, for the planning, for letting him near our children, for forgetting that we don't leave. But you didn't leave. You never left, even when I gave you every reason to. Take care of them. Tell them I love them enough to let them go. Sarah P.S. The vanilla candle from Dr. Chen's office. I took it. It reminded me of when we were happy. I'm leaving it on the porch. Maybe it can remind you too. I found the candle in an Amazon box, wrapped in tissue paper like something precious. The vanilla scent was fading, but still there. Ghost of all those sessions trying to save something already dead. That evening, Jake came for dinner. We'd made it a tradition. Sunday dinners, the four of us. Tommy had built a massive Lego city across the dining room table, so we ate on the living room floor, picnic style. Uncle Jake, Emma shouted, running for her piggyback ride. Jake swooped her up, spinning until she squealed. How we doing, brother? He asked quietly while the kids set up a movie. Good days and bad days, today's good. The letter? She signed away rights, full custody, no more court. Jake whistled low. How do you feel about that? I thought about it. Relieved, sad, angry, grateful, everything. And the kids? They're in therapy, both of them. Tommy's angry, Emma's confused, but they're laughing again, singing again. That's what matters. After Jake left, I tucked the kids in. Emma first, Mr. Buttons standing guard. Then Tommy, who'd started leaving his journal on my nightstand, wanting me to read it. Today's entry: Mom left, but Dad stayed. Uncle Jake says Matthew's men don't leave. I'm a Matthew's man, too. When I grow up, I won't leave either. The next morning, a new ritual. Coffee, newspaper, kids eating cereal. Normal, quiet, hours. Emma had been drawing again. Early morning artwork before school. She handed me her latest creation. It's our family, she announced. 4 figures holding hands, me, Tommy, Emma, and Jake. Above them, a sun with a smiley face. Below, in purple crayon, she'd written, Forever Home. It's perfect, baby. I'm gonna make more, for the whole fridge. Tommy looked at the drawing, then at me. Dad? Yeah, buddy? Are we okay? Like, really okay? I thought about lying, about platitudes, about false comfort. But he deserved truth. We're hurt, we're healing, but we're together, and we're going to be more than okay. We're going to be amazing. He nodded, satisfied. Good, because I have a soccer game Saturday, and I need you to be the loud dad again. I can do that. Emma looked up from her cereal. Can you be the loud dad who brings orange slices? I can do that too. And can Uncle Jake come? Always. The morning sun caught the vanilla candle on the mantel, the one from Dr. Chen's office. I'd kept it, but never lit it. Maybe someday, or maybe it was better as a reminder. Some things are meant to end so better things can begin. Tommy was showing Emma his Lego city, explaining the complex transportation system he'd designed. Emma was suggesting locations for a unicorn stable. They were negotiating, laughing, being siblings. No, not just okay. We were going to be amazing. Share your story of putting children first or finding family in unexpected places. Your experience might help someone facing this today. My phone buzzed, a text from Dr. Chen. Heard about the custody decision. So proud of how you've handled this. The kids are lucky to have you. Another from Marcus at work. Team's got your back. Take all the time you need. One from Maria. Mr. Mike, I saw Sarah at the store. She looked lost. You did the right thing. And finally, one from a number I didn't recognize. Area code 503, Portland. Mr. Matthews, my name is Jennifer Silverman. I heard about your case from my lawyer. Thank you for fighting. Thank you for not leaving. Some of us couldn't. Knowing someone finally stopped him helps me sleep. Your children are blessed. I set the phone down. Watch my children build their world with Legos and imagination. They were healing. We were healing. Tommy looked up. Dad, we need more blue blocks for the ocean. Store run after school? Yes. Can we get ice cream too? Why not? Emma jumped up. Ice cream Monday. New tradition. New tradition, new normal, new life. I thought about Sarah, somewhere with her sister, hopefully getting help. About Mark running to Portland to face whatever was chasing him. About Jennifer Silverman finding peace in someone else's victory. But mostly I thought about us. This little unit of 4, me, Tommy, Emma, and Uncle Jake. Not the family we'd planned, but the family we'd become. We don't leave. No, we don't. We stay. We fight. We protect. We heal. We love. Tommy's new drawing went on the refrigerator that night. 4 figures again, but different. Dad, Tommy, Emma, and Uncle Jake throwing a football titled My Real Family, with Emma's edition in purple crayon, Forever Home. The vanilla candle remained unlit on the mantel. Some memories deserve to fade. Others deserve to be replaced by something better. This was better. This was home.